Okay. Hello, everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to this week's edition of Tech Tips Live. Once again, Tech Tips Live is a 15-minute weekly series that we're going to be doing where we share information about the tools and services, how-tos, and innovative ways that we can incorporate technology into your everyday workflow. After today, we will have 13 more sessions, so make sure you tune in each week at Wednesday, on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to stay on top of technology here at K-State. What I have sharing on the screen right now is our Tech Tips Live website. It's www.ksu.edu/its/tech-tips-live. Here you can see upcoming sessions as well as the recordings, and then all the answers to the questions that happened in previous sessions. If you noticed, we already have the recording from last week about Zoom up here, and then down at the bottom, there's all the questions and answers that were talked about during that session. So you can feel free to visit this at any time. There will be time for question and answer at the end of today's session. So if you'd like to ask a question live at the end, feel free to unmute your microphone and then speak up and ask a question, or you can go ahead and send any questions over the chat at any time, and then I will read those to our speaker, and then they'll be able to answer. So at this time, I think I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to our speaker today. Our speaker is Mary Hamill from the College of Education Catalyst Center. So Mary, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, thank you, Shelley. I guess I better share my screen. Yep. Okay. Just a second. I'm trying to figure out what it's doing here. Desktop? This one?
You've got it selected.
Okay, share screen. Okay. All right, sorry, everyone. I'm kind of new at this, and so I'm trying to make sure I got it right. Today we're going to talk about Adobe Acrobat, using it, an Acrobat Pro license that you can get through K-State, using it with the iPad app. And first, I don't know how many of you actually have the K-State Adobe license, but it doesn't cost very much. It's $36 a year, which is $3 a month, and I think they will prorate that for the rest of the year. And so you can do a search on the website for that, just do Adobe licensing, and it'll take you to this website. But when you get that, you'll get the desktop app, and this is what the desktop app looks like. It's the Acrobat DC Pro, I think is what they call it. And what the nice thing about this is, and I'm going to go into some detail on this in just a second, but it has what they call the document cloud that comes with it. And I am not sure exactly how much space you get, because since it's an enterprise license, I haven't gotten any real answer on that. Usually if you purchase it on your own, you get 20 gigabytes. And there's also a free version of the document cloud that you can get, and it's 2 gigabytes, and I'll talk about that right at the end. But it gives you storage space for your Acrobat documents. And the main thing that's really neat with this is the desktop here. If you turn on Mobile Link, and it's down here at the bottom of the screen, and you turn it on, and you turn it on all your devices, and it'll constantly move things among whichever device you're on. If you're on your iPad, if you're doing something on your desktop and you have Mobile Link on, it'll move when you open your iPad app, the document will be there in your recent file folders. So you can also log into the web version of the document cloud, and that's what this looks like right here. I've already logged in, and so it shows you these are the items that I have in my document cloud. And it'll show you the recent file list, because these are things that I've actually looked at on my desktop app, but some things I've moved specifically up into the cloud and turned on the Mobile Link. So that is what that looks like. Now I'm going to move directly over to the iPad, and this is what the app looks like directly on the iPad. And it's a free app on the iPad. You don't have to have an account to do this, but most of the stuff I'm going to talk about today, you do need to have the license so that you can log in, and that will be the first thing you might want to do, is log in. And you would do that by coming in here, and they have my account. And like I said, I'm already logged in, so it tells me what I'm subscribed to. I'm subscribed to the document cloud, the ability to do export things as PDFs, and the PDF pack lets you do various different things. And then the Acrobat Pro DC lets you create, export, and edit PDF files. So if you don't have the subscription, you won't be able to do these certain things. And I also, you notice I have my mobile link on. So let's go back here. And I showed you the desktop app, and I had moved some things up into my document cloud. And I had the recent up there, so these are the recent files, and so you can see it just move them right over. So I have a handout that I prepared today that I'm going to go through some of these things on, and after we're done, after they get the recording on the website, I will give this to them so they can put this up there with it. But let's just start here. And one thing you might be wondering how I'm doing this, because usually you can't project your iPad screen with Zoom, but I'm using an app called the Reflector 2. There's a desktop app that's called Reflector 2, and then there's an app on my iPad. It's called Reflector Student, and it costs, I think it's $14.99 per computer for use on it. But it's wireless mirroring and streaming, so I can go back and forth and show what's on my iPad screen. And when you get the subscription, you'll have the subscription not just to the Acrobat Pro app, but to the document cloud. And like I said, I'm not sure with the Enterprise exactly how much space you get in the cloud, but I'm assuming it might be around 20 gigabytes, but I'm not really sure, and I haven't gotten an answer on that. But it includes the Acrobat Pro desktop software, and then you can log into the web app, like I showed you a little bit ago, and then there's the mobile apps that you can log into also, the Reader DC app, which is what I'm in right now, and then there's another one called Acrobat Fill and Sign DC that you can log into, and if you do a lot of forms and fill out a lot of forms, it'll save your information, and you can plug in your information really quickly and easily and do signatures with that app. And then it also has the ability to do the mobile link. So the mobile link, the main thing with that is that you can open the file once and read it anywhere. So files that you've opened on your computer or your mobile device, you know, if I open something up that someone sent me via email on my iPad, then I can see it on my desktop app when I open that up. So they'll be in your recent file list wherever you're at, and so you can turn it on from any of the different devices. First thing I want to show you here, there are the viewer, that's what I'm in right now. There's different viewing modes, and if I hit the little eyeglasses down here, you'll see where it goes to either continuous mode or single page. I'm in single page mode because this handout is a landscape, but if I went to continuous mode, you'll see that it kind of brings everything up and it's cutting off some things. So however you feel better when you're viewing. You can also do a night mode, which doesn't look very good on a lot of documents, but it is there for you in case you need to read things that way. And this viewer also has the ability down here to do the share. And so this is where you would go to share a file or share a link. If it's in the document cloud, you can actually just do like you do with not Outlook. What do we use at K-State here? Not Canvas, but the Office 365. So you can share a link that way. You can also tap here and open in another app on the iPad, or if you have a wireless printing and printer that's compatible, you can actually print the document from there. Okay, so being able to comment and annotate on a document is really important for a lot of people. So let's come over here. And by the way, this is, whenever I tap at the top here, the home, it gets me to where I need to go for any of these other things. So we're gonna, whoa, I didn't have it. You have to have a PDF open in order to go to something. So this is, sorry about that, jumped me back. Here's where you can do all types of commenting and annotations. And across the bottom here, you have the ability to add a sticky note. You can do highlighting and strike out text, underline text, add new text anywhere on there. You can draw freehand or draw text on their shapes, and you can actually sign documents. So if I popped on the sticky note, it would come up a sticky note, and you'll notice that it has my name on the top of this. It's because the very first time you do it, it's going to ask you who the author is. And so, so I put that in at that time. If you tell it you don't want to do it at that time, you can go into the Settings app on your iPad and go down to the, we'll just go ahead and do that real quick, the Settings app. And you can come down to Adobe Acrobat, where you can see the Acrobat settings, and then it says commenting, and you can add your name in there, because maybe someone else is using it, and if you want to change your name or whatever. Let's go back here to Acrobat. I'm going to cancel that because I'm not going to add one. And then, of course, you know how the rest of these things work. You know, you can add highlights, strike out text, whatever. If you put something on here and then you decide you don't want it, you can tap on it. And this is where it also lets you, you can clear it, you can change the color. Maybe I want an aqua color there instead. So if you just tap on it, you can change the opacity. So, and this is actually where you would delete it too, to hit clear. There's also an undo button at the top right. So if you can undo something right after you've done it. The freehand lets you draw on it. You can write or draw on it like that. And after you've drawn on it, you have to hit save before you can go in and delete it, which kind of defeats the purpose, but that's what you have to do. So everything I drew there now, since I tapped it, it's going to let me delete it. It also will let me change the thickness of the line that I drew with. So, whoops. And the color and the opacity. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And you'll notice at the far right bottom has the actual pen, and this is where you actually go in and put a signature. I've already got a signature in. Let me go ahead and delete that. But the first time you do it, it'll ask you to create a signature, and it'll have it come up with a signature box, and so you can do whatever you want. And I've got it set automatically to save the signature. You can also, it has the camera and the picture up there, so I guess if you want to picture yourself as a signature, you can do that. I haven't tried that, but I think you can do that. So now I have my signature up here. You notice if I tap it, I can still delete it, but I can also drag one of the corners, and then I can move this and make it smaller and put it wherever I want. So that's pretty handy if you have the free version, you don't want to go spring for the $3 a month for the subscription. This is the way to sign your documents. All right, I'm going to keep that there. Now let's go check on the next thing I want to show you is editing text, and we'll go to Edit PDF. So the main thing I want you to know here is that you have some of these things. Commenting you can do with the free, you can do anything you want there. Some of these other things you have to have the paid subscription, paid account in order to even have access to these things. And editing text is one of the main ones that it's really worth it. So I can come in here now. Now you see that these all have boxes around them. So I'm going to come in here, and as soon as I tap inside there, I have the ability to actually edit, and I can add text and do that. I can move. If I tap move, it'll let me actually move this text box anywhere I want. I'm going to cancel that. I can select all, which is very helpful if you want to delete a whole paragraph. I can paste. I can cut and paste things from other apps. If I've been in the Notes app or email or whatever, I can cut and paste it here. And I can actually delete. I can actually delete this whole paragraph. It's like, maybe I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to hit undo and delete. Undo delete text. You'll notice that here, if I try to tap on this text here, it's actually a graphic. You cannot edit graphics at all. You can only edit text. So that was actually a graphic, or a screenshot that I put on there about editing. You can't do anything to that. that's one of the limitations. If you have the full-blown Acrobat on the desktop, you can do some limited things with your graphics, but on the iPad app, you cannot edit graphics at all. Okay? All right, being able to export your PDFs back to either Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, or a rich text format, you also have to have a paid account for that. And let me see here. This is already a PDF, so I'm going to come here, and I'm going to go to Export PDF, and it's going to give me these options right here. So I'm going to select Microsoft Word. Actually, let's do PowerPoint. So once I've got that selected, I'll hit Export PDF, and it tells you what it's doing. It's converting it. Its status can be checked in the outbox. So the outbox can be found up here. When you go back to the home, you'll see that there's an outbox. So these are some things I've had here. And I don't know if you can see that, but it said it was exporting it. And now it's saving it to the document cloud. Still saving it. But now you can see it added the PPTX extension after it, so it's a PowerPoint now. And so I can actually, even though it's a PowerPoint, I can still open it back up in this app because it converts things back and forth. I'm going to go back now. Let's go back to my recent. So now you see it's up at their top there now, and it's Adobe Acrobat DC, iPad, PowerPoint. So at this point, I can send it, email it, do whatever I want, and we'll get to that later. For now, let's go back. So I'm going to go back. Every time you open it back up, it goes back to the beginning, so that's kind of annoying, but that's how you would be able to do that, and you have to have the paid account to do that. You can also create a PDF from either a Microsoft document, the photos, or the iPad camera. So if I come back here and I open up this PowerPoint, that's not what I wanted to do, sorry. I wanted to show you that I can go to my email, someone sends me a document, this is a doc file, and I've opened it up. I'm actually in Outlook here. If I hit the little button at the top here, it lets me go to open in, and I'm going to tell it to open it in, or to copy it to Adobe Acrobat. So now it's going to open it in here. So now you can see at the top it says it's a doc file. So at this point I could go in, and then I could hit create PDF, and so now I'm converting it to a PDF file. Once again, it uses this outbox when it's doing the conversions, and since I'm connected to the document cloud, that's where it's doing it kind of up in the cloud there. All right, let me go back to our, you can also use your iPad's camera or your camera roll. If we go camera PDF, it brings this up, and I can take a photo. Right now my camera is probably aimed at nothing, so we'll just go in and select a photo, and let's just select something like this. And I'm going to tap use. So it's taking a picture that I have, and it's converting it into a PDF, which is handy if you have some pictures and stuff that you want to convert. Okay? Let's go back again. I really wish that it would stay where it was. Maybe there's a way to do that, but I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, you can also organize pages. And this, once again, you have to have the paid account to do this. So we go over here and we go to organize pages. It's going to show you all the pages in this whole document. I think I have 14 pages. If you decide that one page you want to rotate a different direction, or if you have a page that's blank, like I purposely put a blank page in here, I'm going to tap that blank page, and I can go down to the bottom here, and I hit the trash can, and it deletes it. So you can remove pages from a document. I know sometimes when you convert things, it might add pages where you don't want them, or pages, blank pages at the end. So this lets you go in and delete things that you don't want. You can also rearrange things. So like I'm going to move this page about the reflector over to the very beginning. It also has the undo, so if you mess up and you don't get them in the right order. But it is nice being able to rearrange things, especially if you're giving a presentation or something. You might want to rearrange your slides. We'll go back here now. You can also organize your files, and the way you can create folders and create a whole foldering system in here. You can move files, copy them, rename them, you can delete them. You can also link to Dropbox, and we'll come back here to this. I'm going to come here to where it says local, and you'll notice there's a little file folder up the top. This is where you go in to create folders. And I'm just going to create a test folder, and there we go. So now you'll notice at the top right, once again, there's a little check mark inside a circle. This is where I would go to, maybe if I select things like this, and then down at the bottom now in the doc you have different things. This is where you would go to either duplicate files, move files, delete files. I'm going to go ahead and move these, and I'm going to move them here into my test folder. So this is a way to organize your documents on your iPad. Okay, let's go back here. So that's one way, and you can link to Dropbox. I haven't done that, but that way you would be able to have access to even more documents that you might keep in your Dropbox. Now, I showed you a way when we were over here in commenting where you could actually sign documents. If you're logged in to the paid version, if you come over here to fill and sign, it's going to take you to another app. And if you don't already have it downloaded on your iPad, it'll probably prompt you to do that. I already have it on here. But Adobe Fill and Sign lets you select forms from websites or email attachments. You can take photos of a document and fill out forms that way. And it lets you create a profile with your name and address and phone number and email and all that stuff. And you can actually create signatures. So let's go to that real quick. I'm actually in another app now. This is the Adobe Fill and Sign app. So I'm going to click Done, but I just want to show you what it looks like when you're in here. I've got some other forms up because what I just moved over there was not a form, but they have a sample form on here. And as you can see, I've already filled out my profile. So, and you can actually add, I think somewhere on here, if you go to edit, it lets you add custom fields, like if you're filling out specific forms that ask for more specific information. So you can add things like in the signature, it'll let you create a signature and an initial file. And since if I'm already logged in, if you're logged in, you can tell it to save that up in your document cloud, so it stays here all the time. So I just hit the button since I already had my signature, and then I can put the signature exactly where I want it. Now, if I tap on the date, it's going to automatically, or anywhere where I tap on here where it wants to fill anything out, and I can put in a date. Oops, it's not 2006. 16. Okay. If I tap that again, maybe I don't want that there, but it has a little trash can so you can delete it, and I can make the text bigger if I want. But this is, say I've got this form all filled out, I can come now over to here to the share, and I can put it directly into email, and I don't have my email account set up on this iPad, so it's not going to go anywhere. But here's where, I can move it up into my OneNote, I can open it in another app, but this lets you fill out forms very quickly and easily. You notice it already put in my name there, and I didn't even tell it to do that. So that's Adobe Fill and Sign, and it works with, if you get the subscription to the Acrobat DC Pro, you can use it with it. Okay. There, like I mentioned at the beginning, there is a free Document Cloud account, and it's it's available here. So I'll have this handout so you can go to it. And you only get 2 gigabytes of file storage, and it lets you use mobile link with Acrobat apps. And you can do commenting, fill and sign the forms, and share files. But you cannot do the editing of the text, organizing pages, creating or exporting PDFs. So in a nutshell, and I probably went over just a little bit, but in a nutshell, that is how to use the Adobe Acrobat iPad app with a paid subscription.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary. That's a lot of good information. I did not see any questions come in over the chat, but at this time, does anybody want to unmute their microphone or even just send in a question over the chat? Looks like everyone's saying excellent and good info. So any questions? Any questions? Okay, maybe while you guys are still thinking, I'm going to go ahead and introduce next week's speaker, Javel Roan, and it looks like Javel's on here. So Javel, if you would like to introduce yourself, Mary, I'm going to have you stop your screen share so Javel can pop up.
Let's see.
So stop the reflector app. So Javel, if you want to go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks Shelly. Hi, I'm Javel Roan, I'm the coordinator here at Fort Media Development Center here at ITAC. As you may know, I'm pretty passionate about multimedia and all things related to media. I'm also known as the 3D printing guy. I'm excited to host Tech Tips Live next week and give a brief overview of the history of 3D printing, the evolution of 3D printing, how we're working it, and how it's being used here on our campus. And even talk a little bit about the collaborative efforts being made right here at Kansas State University. I'll also introduce a research associate in electrical engineering and computer engineering with an emphasis in medical physics, electromagnetism, and biomedical engineering. And we'll just talk about some of the projects that we've worked on and how it's being used here on campus. So that's something to look forward to next week. Just want to say, hope you guys tune in and share it with someone, and I will see you guys next week.
All right, thank you, Javel. If you have not seen any of the 3D printing models that Javel or anyone else has made on campus, I highly encourage you to attend because some of the things they make are just really cool. Mary, one of the questions that did come in, will you talk a little bit more about how you were able to project your iPad onto your computer to use with Zoom? I know usually in a Zoom meeting, you can't pair your iPad directly to a Zoom meeting when you're on K-State's network because Zoom requires AirPlay to allow your iPad to do that, and our network here at K-State is not compatible with AirPlay. So Mary, do you want to talk about the app that you use to allow that to happen?
Okay. Am I on?
Yep.
I've been using, today I've been using an app called, can I share the screen? Share screen. Okay, this is the Reflector 2 website. It's made by a company called Air Squirrels. Anyway, it works on, they have a version for Mac, Windows, Android, and even Amazon Fire TV. And basically, I've used it a few times. Mainly, it gives you the ability to, what we've been using it for over here in the College of Education is making little movies to show people how to do certain things on their iPads. When I have the app on, I can actually record my screen. So I can record a movie of me doing something on the iPad. So that's the way we've been using it over here, but you can also use it to present with. We have the Apple TVs over here with AirPlay, so we're not using that technology for actually presenting. But, and I know that the College of Business uses Reflector for a lot of their things that they do with the iPad. But I encourage you, it costs $14.99 per user, I think. Well, that's per Mac. It's for Windows also. But you can get a 5-pack for $62.99, but it's per computer user. So you can't, like I have this on my desktop, but if I wanted to use it on my laptop also, I'd have to get another license. But I've been really impressed. It seems to have worked okay today. So.
Yeah, I think this works great. Um, yeah, so if anyone were to share their screen during a Zoom meeting, you might notice there is a button on there for iPad, iPhone. But like I said, because AirPlay doesn't work on our network, you can't use it while you're here at K-State. If you're at home on your own private network, you could probably still get that to work. But if you're on campus, the Reflector 2 program is a great way to kind of get around that function. Okay, so I'm going to ask if there's any more questions about anything that we've talked about today. Okay, so I'm going to take that as a no. A few closing remarks before we shut down here. We just want to invite anyone who might have a suggestion of any future topics or any requests of future topics that you want to hear about on Tech Tips Live. Please feel free to send those to me. My email is shelleytroyer@ksu.edu. And once again, if you want to see the recording of this or see any of the answers that we've, of any questions that come up during a Tech Tips series, we will post those on our website. So you can just visit k-state.edu/its/text-tips-live. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. I hope everyone has a great day and hope to see you next week. Thanks.